Well, it's you see, the important thing which religion tells us that the creed of monotheism, Tawheed, is very important in our lives. So if you give importance to monotheism, the fact that God is one, the fact that we have to turn to a God, then you'll always make this criteria to be something that you need to follow. I mean, so I think that we need to understand it's not just out of religion that we should marry or not. To us, just as we think that a person should be honest, or a girl or a boy should be honest, decent, loyal, faithful, in a very similar way, religion wants us to add one more criteria. Albeit, I think, in fact, it is the basic criteria, and that is, does he believe, or does he or she believe in one God, one single God, the way the Quran tells us? Because to Muslims, believing in one God, the way Quran tells us, is something that should be of paramount importance. But so yes, I would say that it is recommended that you don't marry outside religion, because whichever religion that you look outside of Islam, you'll find contamination of polytheism in some form or the other, and which doesn't seem to be, recommended. But as I said, this is only the case when your boy or girl gives importance to monotheism or to one God. In most cases, what happens is that you're doing all kinds of other things which might not be correct. And when it comes to marriage, your parent would say, well, you're marrying outside your religion, and you try to stop your children from marrying outside your religion. So it is here that I would suggest to the parents that if children want to marry outside, let them. I mean, all that you need to do is to tell them the importance that of the fact that, or the I would say, let them know that what the importance of faith and marrying in a family which believes in one God, what importance that holds, and how vehemently the Quran recommends. But if your child insists that, well, it's fine, and I'm still okay with it, then, as I said earlier on, that this is a choice which that adult child must make, and the parents should not hinder that in any way, in spite of having a difference of opinion. Even where the male is allowed to marry the women from among the people of the book, you see the verse coming in a particular context. And that context is that today, with the completion of religion, it holds supreme in the land of Arabia. And traditions of monotheism are now so strong that Muslim men have now been allowed to marry amongst non-Muslim women, particularly if they belong to the people of the book. But as I said, if we follow this context of the Quran, then this should only be allowed in those countries in which Islam holds its traditions as very strong, and in which there is all the probability that if a woman would marry a Muslim man, and in all probability, the children that she would raise would be under the flag of monotheism, and they would be monotheist Muslims. And at the same time, there would always be the chance that she would be, maybe induced to even convert to Muslim. So even this verse, which tells us that you can marry from among the people of the book, has come once Islam was the dominant force in Arabia. Even before that, it was never the case. So if you find in any Muslim country that Islam, still not the dominant force as far as tradition is concerned, so the context would tell us that you should not even marry outside that. So this is how I understand the Quran.